Welcome to North Idaho Experience. In today's episode, Eric and I sit down with our good friend BZ from North Idaho Arms. We're going to talk about suppressors, how the big, beautiful bill has removed the federal tax stamp cost, so how that's working out, and what wait times currently are for suppressors. We're going to dive into politics, of course, new gun laws, how to ship guns from Canada if you're moving here. That's a topic we jumped into, and why it's important and why we talk about Washington gun laws all the time. It is a case study for the future of Idaho. So we're going to jump into that a little bit. And let's see, showed off some guns that BZ brought as well, and updates on some of the Washington gun laws that are coming down the pipeline. Lots of great information. BZ is a wealth of it here in North Idaho. We're lucky to have him. And please check out his gun shop over in Post Falls. It is called North Idaho Arms. Hey, if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, please, and like the video. Please share it. We're also on all audio platforms if you prefer to ingest podcasts that way. And if you guys are thinking about making the move to North Idaho, our real estate team specializes in helping conservative families find their freedom right here in North Idaho. Check it out. Yep. So why did you shave your face, dude?
Jesus,
what is happening right now?
Quit looking at me like a freaking leper.
Struggling. It's
yes, and I'm well aware I'm going to get the Shrek comments.
Do the roar
as soon as we do this.
Do the roar.
Listen, I'm still in drill, bro. I'm still in the reserve.
80 years in the military.
Listen, you don't have to say you're welcome for my service.
What was it like back
Or I'll
in
say
Vietnam?
you're welcome. What? Shut up. You don't have to say thank you, but you're welcome. All right. No. Yes, I have to shave. I hate every single second of it. There's nothing worse than shaving your beard.
How many years in are you at this point?
I'm sitting at like 21, but it was like some reserve years, so I had to mess with it. It's honestly, it's wild right now because you're seeing this big transition in the military.
Not the kind of transition that we were seeing like a year ago.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get.
Is that why you shaved your beard? You're transitioning.
It could be. I look like a freshly shaven testicle right now, dude. I hate it. I hate it, dude. It drives me nuts. Okay, but I did when I shaved off my beard, I left my mustache, which I shouldn't be allowed within 250 feet of a Chuck E. Cheese, dude. It looks so bad. But because the military's like, your beard looks unprofessional, so I wear a mustache on purpose. I'm like, does this look professional to you?
Sergeant Stadenko.
Oh, it's so bad. But honestly, I'm seeing such a significant and drastic shift because now PT's becoming a bigger thing. We PT'd every single day. They're changing the PT standards, getting more into warfighter readiness, other Hegseth. And I don't know, there's some opinions out there about him and Trump, and this isn't even a political thing, but we're seeing that shift in our military. But it was just this very somber reminder that the military is not the way that it used to be. Regardless of your political affiliation, if a Democratic president was in office or a Republican president was in office, the military was left alone because they had a very specific mission and skill set. And you didn't inject political crap onto the military. Now, all of a sudden, they've kind of been weaponized, right? Now it's all about, being openly gay in the military, or you can be LGBTQ, whatever, in the military, and they're encouraging that. And you could do, taxpayer-funded sex change operations. It sucks that it's gotten to that, because now my biggest concern, I like the direction it's going right now. It sucks that it's the very tail end of my career because I'm done. I'm checked out. All right, I have to shave my beard. That's where I draw the line.
It hurts all of us.
Yes, yeah, I know, dude. Thanks, buddy. But I hate that it got like that. That all of a sudden it just got weaponized politically, and I wish there was more standard, because now what happens in 3 years?
Right. Will it shift back, or do you think this will
worse?
Stay? Yeah.
Where they'll swing all the way back because they're considering this such a drastic deviation. Warfighter readiness amongst our troops.
That's crazy. What a crazy concept.
What a crazy freaking concept. But now I just worry about how big the swing will be going back.
How much is there? I mean, I know you're just in your small group, but is there a lot of complaining about people having to PT and bringing those standards back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not from a lot, but what's crazy is a lot of like the mid-level leadership, like some of the senior enlisted leadership, in what era were they promoted? Right now, to get promoted, you don't even have to stand before a board. It's all paperwork and how much you fluff yourself on a freaking resume, right? So that part's a little bit tough, because now they're having to figure out how to lead this new transition that they didn't embody to get promoted in the first place. That's not to say there aren't a few good ones. There are a few. But a lot of them were promoted either based on other policies, some less than popular ones that maybe didn't have everything to do with performance.
Well, and I think the sad part, because, we talk to people every day, right? The sad part is you have a generation of warfighters that are now out of the military and disgruntled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And maybe their careers were cut 5 years too short, 10 years, 12 years too short, that they are still serviceable service members.
Yeah.
And they're out and they're pissed off now and they're not going back.
Right.
Right. And trying to fill that gap and trying that leadership gap and that seniority gap and just, which way does the bullets go? I mean, it's the experience. You cannot train experience. Experience comes with just time, time and effort and work, right? And so just plugging somebody in and saying like you're a leader now doesn't work, right? You need that guy that's 21 years old or 21 years in, right? That says, man, I might be a little tired, I might be a little crusty, but what could the military do to get another year out of you, just so you can help train the next one,
right,
and get the next guy ready?
It wouldn't have been required if we weren't shifting our mission to go with the political wins. Yeah. And that's where the tough part. I want to go back, and I mean this on both sides, right or left. The military needs to be left alone. That needs to be separate from politics. It has to be. Because then you've got some sort, even at your baseline, it's still about warfighter readiness, right? You have to be able to, wage war if necessary and be a good deterrent. I got so frustrated there for a while where you're watching some of the ads for the Army and you're looking at, there was a stark contrast between the two where the Russian Army puts out their video and it's just dudes like getting it, like running through the snow, lifting cars, like fighting bears and doing all that crazy Eastern European stuff. But the dudes look jacked. They look like ready to wage war. And the other one is a girl from, it showed a Ferris wheel in California. It was like, my mom is my hero, and I have two moms, and she bravely goes down and protests, and blah, 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 blah. Now I serve in the Army for my community, and it's like, we are a deterrent to war. Do you think that our enemies are going to look at that and say, you know what, the U.S. is not worth messing with? But it was more important to cater to that political propaganda at the time than it was to remember what our mission was.
So do you think that maybe that was a tactic started 25, 30 years ago and over the last couple decades by our enemies to put that seed into our politics?
It's hard to envision such a long game, but I know people play it.
Dude,
so
the Chinese don't think about what's happening today, tomorrow,
Yeah, it's 100
this
years.
year. It's 100
tiny
years.
incremental changes over time become an enormous wave like that.
Absolutely, right? And so I honestly think that our American society has been tweaked and tuned from external forces to sow dissent. And we see it now, right? I mean, we see
it's no longer a conspiracy theory. It is a fact.
I need new conspiracy theories because all my other ones came true.
Yes, yeah.
It's like you look at what's going on in the world right now today, and what is today, the 12th?
Yep.
12th, January 12th, right? We've just had a hellacious week on American soil, right? And I'm not picking sides one way or the other, right? But seeing the things that are happening on the streets of America right now, I don't think it should not make anybody feel good. Like you can say, hey, this side is right or this side is wrong. This person did this right. This person did that wrong. You can do that. But I don't think there's anybody who's like, man, I feel good about what's going on right now. Like it's seeing Americans go at each other is not a good thing.
No.
It's not, right? It doesn't make anybody, long term, it doesn't make us stronger.
And I guess what I'm talking about with the military, that transcends into our communities too. There used to be a baseline, regardless of which way you voted, and nobody was like too far deviated from that baseline. You had a couple of extremists, but now it seems like everybody's an extremist.
I don't know if that's true or if that's just the perception of how we get our information, right? Like when you meet people on the street, most people you meet are pretty normal and like moderate.
Right.
It's not like you don't meet them very often. So
Yeah.
I'm almost thinking it's a very vocal minority.
But is that a product of
that's
where
being magnified?
Is that a product of where we live?
It could be. Yes, it could be. That's true.
Yeah.
We do live in a bit of a bubble.
And every single
Bubble of freedom.
a bubble of America.
Yeah.
Every single person has the ability to not only have their 15 minutes of fame, but can have their 15 minutes of fame daily. Right?
Yeah.
Because of social media, because of iPhones, because of blah blah blah, whatever, right? Literally, there's an entire generation or two of people that just record themselves. That just record themselves, right? That's all they do is record themselves. And it's for the clout, it's for the clicks, it's for whatever. And I'm guilty of it, right? I've built a business on that, right? We're all guilty of that.
Can't make money on YouTube, kids.
Right?
Or can you?
Yeah. Stop filming yourselves.
But does everybody have something to say?
Everybody.
Nowadays they do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got an equal voice.
It's
right?
true. Right.
And so you're going to hear all of those viewpoints.
It's a lot to filter.
That's what I've said this to my family, and I'm kind of this sits with me, and it made me feel better about it. You are absolute. There's never been a time in history where your voice could not be heard, across multiple channels by this number of people in history. This has been by far the most. You are absolutely entitled to your opinion. I am absolutely not entitled to respect it. I respect the opinions of those that have actually gone out there and engaged in it and been immersed in it and been on the front lines of things before. And that's why I get so frustrated when I talk about how the people whose rights, First Amendment rights, are the most infringed upon are cops and military, right? By policy. Those are the perspectives that I want. I want service members' perspectives who've gone and served in third world countries and saw what the complete degradation of women's rights actually look like. Right? Where literally you watch extremely oppressive regimes and people are struggling just to eat and eating bugs to survive while the rich thrive in this socialist utopia. I want their perspective. And then cops actually get it on the street so they know what's happening. They know what gang violence is like.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think this shift in the military will carry over to the law enforcement side?
Man, I think you mean the warfighter readiness?
Yeah.
Gosh, I just see it being, I wish I could be more positive about it, but you're just seeing opposites. It's such a there's such a wide gap. There's no more getting back to baseline. They're just getting further apart. Now, here, in North Idaho, I've worked for the two largest agencies here besides ISP. But there was always that. I mean, some of the guys that work there. There was always about, hey, we're gonna train, and train for that moment, for those you mentioned it the other day, but those low frequency, high liability moments.
Yep.
So that warfighter readiness has always been kind of towards North Idaho, and I think there's maybe some other cities, depending on the state that they're in, because those guys get elected. Police chiefs get elected by a city council. Did you see the Portland police chief's press conference? Where he's crying?
Yes.
He's crying because ICE agents engaged two violent illegal aliens and there was a shooting.
Yeah.
And he's crying for. So no, I don't see that spilling over into Portland just because their votes are so completely.
I think here's what I think is that it will depend on the department. Like Idaho, I could see. I mean, they already do it, but adopting that, I think, places like Portland and Seattle are going to double down on the wokeness and go the complete opposite. They're going to push back the opposite direction, which is going to make it worse for their citizens, unfortunately.
So doing what you guys do and doing what I do, and our businesses commingle a lot.
Yep.
I see police officers every single week that come into my store that are not from Idaho.
Yeah.
Right? They're from Washington, they're from Oregon,
and
they're
firefighters.
From firefighters, right? I see dudes from all over the West Coast. I mean, we've had some East Coast guys, right? Those officers, those highly trained, highly skilled, motivated peace officers are wanting to leave those states.
Yeah.
And they want to move here, right? And they want to take pay cuts to move here. So Kootenai County and Coeur d'Alene and Post Falls and ISP, get the wages up and keep getting the good people here,
Yes.
right? Keep getting the good people here. But the backfill that is happening in Washington, Oregon, California is fucking social workers. You're putting bulletproof vests on social workers to go handle sex predators.
And then you're wondering why when we watch some of these videos with uses of force, they go poorly.
Absolutely.
And then you're wondering, you're like, we are not going to have your back if you get into any sort of circumstance. We're just going to throw you to the wolves. And by the way, your best preventative measure of open air drug use and drug possession, they just decriminalized again
In Washington.
in Seattle. And it was the Seattle police chief that said that. And then we're going to wonder why these outcomes are poor. We can't retain our good ones, and we can't attract any good ones. And we don't care.
Well, they just elected, Katie, what her name, Katie Wilson, the socialist mayor, and I get it, right? Like, the mayor is an elected position. It's a representation of the populace, right? I got to be careful what I say, right? Seattle's going to burn.
Yeah.
Seattle's going to burn, and it might not burn this year, but it's going to burn,
Yeah.
right? Because she's now saying. Open air drug use, okay. I don't know if you guys have been in downtown Seattle in the last year or two, but there are open air drug markets. There are open air theft markets where these guys will go and they will steal from the Walgreens and the REI and the Helly Hansen store, whatever. And then they go down on 3rd Avenue and they literally lay out their products, and you have normal people that are down there buying things at 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar like it's normal commerce. And A, people wondering why these retailers are leaving, and B, people are wondering why the drug use keeps skyrocketing. And it's like, it starts at the top. If your mayor is saying like, this is a utopia and everybody's equal and everybody's the same and we're going to let this happen, it's retarded.
Yeah.
It's just ass backwards on what you're doing and what you're allowing to happen in your, in the city that I love, right? In the Emerald City, right? West Seattle High School, class of 1994, right? Hanging out on Alki with my boys. Love the place. I will not go back.
Well, and now you're talking about punishing those businesses that leave. They're trying to figure out a way to do the exit tax. I mean, we talked about that with citizens out of California and Canada's talking about that as well. But punishing the ones that leave. So we've created an environment where you can no longer sustain your business the way in which you did. Your employees don't feel safe in the store. You can no longer be solvent.
Yeah.
And you want to leave to go to a state where you can. We're going to punish you for that.
Yeah, we're going to tax you on the way out.
Yeah, we're not going to address any of these concerns or any of these issues that you justifiably bring up to your city officials. We're just going to punish you for leaving.
I don't know the definition of tyranny right off the bat here, but that sounds pretty damn close.
Well, it's the definition of insanity.
That too.
Right? Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result, that is the definition of insanity. And so at some point, like, and I tell you what it is, right? Anybody that has the ability and that can leave is leaving.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you guys are seeing it, right? You guys are seeing it, right?
Yeah.
Anybody that can leave, any family that can leave, that has the ability, the financial ability, the wherewithal, the experience, the ability to leave, they're leaving. And they're not just coming here. They're going to Montana, and they're going to Wyoming, and they're going to the Dakotas, and they're going everywhere, right? Arkansas, Tennessee, right? Those places are booming, right? But again, the backfill of what is moving in is this like-minded hive mind that's moving in that is just expecting everything for free. And I think with the socialists and dare I say communists, what they don't understand, what these young socialists don't understand is, yes, you're the revolutionaries. You're fighting for the revolution. Okay. So when you get it, understand you will be the first ones to go.
That's historically how it goes,
That's
right?
historically how it goes, right? Because you are cannon fodder for the revolution. And then when it's time to rebuild the communist utopia, the socialist utopia, you need workers. You need drones. Oh, not everything's free anymore? I got to go to work? Well, I don't do that. Well, guess what? You're no longer needed. You're no longer valuable. And all of a sudden, you need the people that know how to work. And these states are not going to have that because the workers are leaving. It used to be like the millionaires are leaving. It used to be the high six-figure guys, families are leaving. I'm seeing people that literally make $70,000 a year as a family of four that are like, we're going to take a pay cut and move to Idaho, or we're going to take a pay cut and move to Montana. And man, housing is expensive and blah, 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 whatever. But just for the sake of our family, we're going to do it.
Right.
We're going to make that investment
Yeah.
in our family.
Yeah.
To just get out. And it's crazy.
Eric said this a while back that states are competing for qualified citizens. And the sooner all these states realize that's going on and make it intentional, those are the states that are going to win.
I was with you guys last year. I'm going down to SHOT Show next week, and I'm going down to the governor's forum. And so it's 6 governors. You know, it's Idaho, it's Nevada, it's the Dakotas, it's Montana, it's Arkansas, Tennessee. It's these conservative states that are not only fighting for taxpayers, because at the end of the day, that's what we are, right? We're citizens. We're upstanding citizens.
We're a resource.
We are a resource. We are taxpayers.
Yep.
But they are fighting for businesses. And one of the things, like when I talked to Governor Little last year, and I'm hoping again this year to have the same conversation with him, is figure it out. Let's get the businesses here.
Yes, they want to come. We've
Let's
had
get the
multiple reach out to
businesses
us.
here.
Yes.
Like, how do we get Aero Precision out of Lakewood, Washington?
Right.
Right? How do we get them into Post Falls? Right? How do we bring 450 high-paying, quality manufacturing jobs to Post Falls, Idaho? How do we do it?
Those jobs, not Amazon. You can
Yeah.
stay.
How do we do that? How do we get those people here? Right? How do we get those 450 jobs? That's 1,700 people that are like us, that think like us, that want to be here, that want to just exist
And contribute to the community.
and give back and help and go to church
That
and
won't-
spend their money in the community.
That won't be a burden on our system.
Correct.
That won't be a burden
Governor
on our
Little,
lives.
how do we get those jobs here? How do we get them here?
Well,
Not just in Boise, not just in Eagle, not
Right.
just in Meridian, not in the South, right? How do we get them in the North, right? How do we get those jobs up here? We have the land, we have the resources, we have the room, we have the money.
What do you say to the guy? Someone's going to comment. Stop telling people to come here.
The secret's out.
Yes.
The secret's out. Stop telling people to come here. Okay. Stop selling your land,
Valid point.
right?
Takes 2 to tango, right?
Takes 2 to tango, right? My family's born and raised here. Idaho was traditionally a very, very poor state. Traditionally a very poor state. And then people realized, wow, I have 500 acres. I have 100 acres. I have 20 acres. I can sell these chunks. And all of a sudden, now I got a new F-350. I got a couple side-by-sides. I got a couple jet skis. I'm living the good life. The secret's out. Like, it is getting more expensive. I understand that. It's more expensive for me. I don't own a house here. I can't afford a house here yet. I will, because I'm going to work my ass off and do it, right? The secret's out. People want to be here. They want to come here. Have you ever gone to church on a Sunday in North Idaho? My church just had to open a 3rd service. Lake City just had to open a 3rd service. They just had to knock portable buildings down so they can increase the parking because there's so many people that want to come and celebrate Jesus Christ.
What does that say?
That's about the best thing that could happen.
Right.
That you have so many people that are moving here that want to come to church. And then when church is done, they want to go out and they want to go to brunch. And then they want to go see a movie. And they want to act in the community. And they want to provide into the community, right? Like, that's a good thing.
And they want to buy local. They liked supporting local businesses because we do hear that quite a bit. Here's kind of my argument against that. I totally agree the secret's out. And if what you're really concerned about is altering the culture of North Idaho, it's on all of us to maintain it for what it is. Low taxation, minimal government intrusion, freedom, right? And the 20-year throwback where you still talk to your neighbors and engage in face-to-face communications. But far be it from me to look at somebody that has been successful and existed in one of these extremely oppressive states where they no longer have a say in what their children ingest at public schools, but they've somehow managed to be successful in spite of all that, and now have the ability to choose where they live. Far be it for us to say, no, you don't get to come here. You've worked your ass off and built some success in a place that sucks. In a lot of ways, they've earned the right more.
Well, see, American Dream.
To choose where you raise your kids.
How is it any different than, 40 years ago, 35 years ago, the guy who lived on the Rathdrum Prairie and was a grass farmer, right? And broke his back every season after season, farming. And then he was able to sell some property, sell some land, and make some money, and now he lives on Lake Pend Oreille. Or now he lives on Kokalaka, or now he lives on Hayden Lake. Like, how is that different? He stepped up. He moved up, right?
I get frustrated with where are you from? That talk. Well, I was born and raised in America, and because I've crossed multiple arbitrary lines on the dirt in different states, like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. How about what are your values? How about that question instead of where are you from?
Well, and that's the thing. I think those arbitrary lines were seemingly arbitrary when we had a baseline and we weren't too far off. Now those lines are significantly more important. I don't know if there's a place in the country where that isn't as clear as it is here between Washington and Idaho.
I can tell you the one thing that I'm super happy, super proud of is the where are you from? All right, where are you from? I'm from here. Okay, that's cool. But you know where I'm going? I'm going to the Post Falls Food Bank.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Toys for Tots drive. Right. I'm going to this charity event. I'm going to that event. And what's happening is I'm seeing more people at those events. We just did the Toys for Tots drive at Cascadia Pizza in Coeur d'Alene in December. Last year, pretty good turnout. This year it was like triple.
Wow.
That's not because of me.
Yeah.
That's not because of you. That's because of the community.
Right.
The community realizes, hey, we're all in this together. Let's go do this thing. Let's go support. Our food drive that we did in November for Post Falls Third Avenue Marketplace, Post Falls Food Bank, we blew it away. We killed it. I think we doubled input. We doubled the poundage of food we were able to bring in. That's not because of me. That's because of Mel at Post Falls Food Bank, right? Mel, who runs that place, she's out there kicking ass every single day trying to support the community. And she's using me and you and other like-minded businesses to just get the word out. But she's out there doing the work, and she's local.
You bring up a great point. I see more community involvement. It certainly seems that way. I see more community involvement from people that are moving from other communities because they better appreciate what this community offers. They will go absolutely get involved. I'll tell you what, they pay more attention on elections. They want as much information as possible for the people that are running for different positions within the community. They want to know those things because I think that perspectives is they've been a part of communities. You were there, you witnessed it, and were trying to run a business during it. You saw the downfall of what was an amazing community. So how do we get in front of it?
Yeah.
We encourage that to every one of our clients. Please pay attention to local stuff. We put out stuff on this podcast and on our YouTube channel about local election. We just want you to be informed when you go vote. I don't care which way you vote. I mean, I've got my own personal opinions. If you want those, I'll tell you. But I want you to just be an informed voter and an active member of our community.
That's it.
And I see a lot of those from people that are moving here from outside. I think if you've lived here your entire life, it's easy to take it for granted. Those people
and just get angry about the growth, right? But that doesn't solve anything.
But and I understand it, right? As a guy who has family here, native, I get it. It's getting more expensive.
But everywhere is getting more. I think that's what people don't realize, right? The small town that I grew up in upstate New York is not the same town 30 years later.
Right.
You know, it's just,
it's kind of like the guy that, you know, I remember when this was $100. I remember when a M1 Garand was $300 in the Sears catalog back in 1972. And it's like, absolutely, dude. And gas was 49 cents a gallon.
Yep. Yep.
Right. And God bless the fact that like I just filled up last night at like $2.19 a gallon. Right. I was like, hell yeah. Right. $2.19 a gallon. But everything has gotten more expensive. Right. Everything's gotten more expensive. But I think Zips, kitty corner to my store, there's a billboard out now hiring fry technicians, $17.50 an hour.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
At Zips.
Yeah.
Right? Making that bucket of fries that they sell for $5.
Yeah.
How is that possible? How is that possible that, you know, the federal minimum wage is $7.25, which is too low.
Yeah.
The Idaho state minimum wage is $7.25, which is too low. I can't hire anybody. I just had to hire a new employee, right? I had the experience of hiring a new employee here in the last couple months. I can't pay somebody $7, $8 an hour.
My 14-year-old wouldn't work for that,
No.
right? And I wouldn't expect them to.
No. When my daughter comes in on Saturdays to empty the garbages, she's looking at me for a crisp 20 for a half hour's worth of work.
Right.
You know, it's like, it's
valid.
like, you know.
That's valid.
So you can't, the old adage of you can't have your cake and eat it too, it kind of goes the other way of like, you can't bitch and complain and then still benefit at the same time.
Right.
Right.
You know, and I'm guilty of it. You're guilty of it. We
course.
all complain about something, and it is what it is. But the reality is this is the best place in the United States.
Yeah.
Hands
Right.
down. Right.
Yeah.
And you know, personally, like moving here, getting reacquainted with the family here, and getting back with the family here was awesome. But it's the best thing that happened to my marriage. It's the best thing that happened for my daughter.
Yeah.
You know, my stepson just came home from Florida, and he's up here a little bit now, and splitting time between here and visiting family in Western Washington. Like we talked about my other son who's still in Western Washington. I think he's just chomping at the bit. Like,
Right.
you know, wants to get over here at some point. And it's like, man, like, why are so many people want to come here? Because the secret's out.
Is it because these?
I'll tell you what, man, I own a gun store. Right?
Yeah.
I brought guns to play with today.
Everyone's wondering why we got a bunch of guns laying on the table.
It is
Well, just because it's Idaho and you can.
It is more than guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is 100% more than guns.
It is way more.
And here's the spiel that I talk about every single day, and I know you guys have heard this a bunch, but you know, in North Idaho there is 18 or more retail gun stores to choose from.
Wow.
There's a ton. You want big boxes, you've got the mega big box stores. You want small mom and pops like me, you got that, and everything in between, right? And there are some amazingly great gun stores and businesses in North Idaho. And there are some absolute not good ones.
That's valid. Yeah.
Not good ones, right? But there is literally something for everybody, right? But guns, I would say, guns is one of the things that I think kind of perk people's interests. But then when they come over for their visits, you know, when I played college football, I went on visits, right? And so it's almost like families are making these college visits, right, to come visit North Idaho,
Right.
And I get people every week that come in June, July, August, and it's 90 degrees, and they're staying at the resort, and they're meeting with one of you guys to have a cup of coffee, and they're going to go look around, and they're like, oh man, it's so beautiful, it's so awesome. Like, please come back in December, come back in January, come back in February, and see what it's really like, because it is a different world. North Idaho is the tale of two areas, half of the year, right? I'm now seeing those people that are coming back on their second visits, and they're like, we like it even more now. There's 8 feet of snow on the ground, and it's 12 degrees outside. We like it even more now.
Right.
And it's like, man, right? And so I think guns open up the conversation, and here's generally how it goes. Husband looks at his wife and goes, God damn it, Bob Ferguson, if he does one more thing, if they're going to do one more thing in Washington, I can't own this, I can't buy this, I can't do this. We're moving. And the wife's like, great, Harry. You already got 40 guns, right? But then what happens is the wife starts thinking, and she goes, well, wait a minute. Because generally the wives kind of run the households, like my wife does. And they go, wait a minute, $5 a gallon. Man, our property taxes just went up another 5%. The sales tax just went up another 0.5%. Like, we didn't do anything in our personal lives, in our professional lives, to make more money. But the cost of living here just went up another 5 or 6% this year.
And so did crime.
Yeah.
And that's when the wives go, maybe we should. Who was that guy that you saw in Washington Gun Law? Or what's the name of those guys that do those goofy YouTubes and TikToks and whatever, those real estate guys?
Yeah.
Let's call those guys, right? Let's go over and see what it's about, right? And it's crazy, man. It is absolutely crazy.
Well, and that's where I think
it's the reverse Oregon Trail.
Yeah, it's true.
You're right.
But I think the right to keep and bear arms, gun laws are absolutely a reflection of individual freedom within the state, right? They're not they're a symptom of how free you really are in your own state. Yeah. Does your own state trust you enough to lawfully carry firearms or possess firearms? That's where I think you get into a lot of the rest of it, right? Like, you look at, if I was paying 3 times as much in taxes as somebody in another state, but I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, yeah, but we're the third safest state in the country. Our roads are impeccable. There's no potholes. Our schools are the highest rated in the country. Then I might look at it and go, I'm getting a return on my investment.
Yeah.
But that's not the way that's going.
No.
As they continue to go up, they infringe. Why are they even focused on these over there? They have so much more to keep them busy. I mean, your crime rates are absolutely through the roof, and the state is in shambles. And now you're talking about ratifying their constitution for a state income tax.
Oh, which has been the one thing that a lot of people always come back on. Well, there's no state income tax.
No, there is something that's getting ready to happen in Washington where they are going to gerrymander the Washington State House of Representatives. And so if they hypothetically, because I saw a couple reports and I saw a couple things that came out in the last 2 weeks where the Democrats want to gerrymander southwestern Washington, central Washington, eastern Washington, gerrymander the districts, so the next election they shed even more Republican House seats. Now they have a supermajority Senate, supermajority House. They have the governor's office. At that point, you can make constitutional changes to the Washington State Constitution. There are 2 things in Washington that I promise you the left wants to fix in their eyes. And that is the ability to run a Washington State income tax. And we have one here in Idaho, right? But the Constitution in Washington says that the individuals shall not have their personal income taxed, right? The left wants to get rid of that, and they're doing this millionaire tax BS scheme, right? They're going to start that.
Is that the slippery slope?
That's the slippery slope, right? Because what's going to happen is they're going to tax everybody who makes over $1 million, and they're going to play the game of like, well, the rich need to pay, right? Well, you know what the rich are really good at? Not paying.
Yes.
And you know what the rich are really good at? Moving.
Yep.
So year 1, year 2, okay, you might shed. You might scrape a couple bucks out of a couple millionaires. That's cool. And then they're going to bounce. They're going to leave. And then they're going to look at the budget and they're going to go, oh shit! Like, well, we better go anybody over 500,000. Well, in Western Washington, Bellevue, Redmond, Seattle area, the tech industry, tech corridor area, middle class is about $300,000 a year, $350,000 a year. So you're 3 or 4 years away from getting hit on that income tax.
Oh yeah.
Right. So if they can, again, gerrymander the districts so they can shed more Republican votes and get more Democrats, now they can go in and they can go after the Washington State Constitution. They can make an amendment. Now they can have an income tax across the board from $1 to $100 million. Then they can go after guns because Amendment 1, Article 24, Article 1, Amendment 24 of the Washington State Constitution, every citizen of the state of Washington has the right to keep and bear arms, and that right shall not be impaired. Right? It's different than the Second Amendment of the United States. Second Amendment of the United States says militia and infringe. The Washington State Constitution replaces the word militia. They use the word citizen. There is no militia. You don't have to be part of a group. You're a citizen. They take the word infringe out. What does infringe mean? I don't know. But you know what? You cops know what impair means. Because if I drink 3 or 4 beers here during this podcast and drive home, Coeur d'Alene's not going to pull me over for driving infringed.
Right.
They're going to pull me over for driving impaired, which means to make it difficult. Right? So the Washington State Constitution says the citizens have the right to keep and bear arms, and that right shall not be made difficult. If they could get into that Constitution and start tweaking with that,
Yeah.
game over, boys and girls. Because now you have a supermajority across the board with jungle primaries and mail-in voting. How do you win that back?
Hey, but that should make it way safer over there, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a plus.
100%.
Less guns in the hands of law-abiding citizens.
Less
always makes
guns, more
yes.
fentanyl.
Yes, absolutely.
That's why, I mean, we are just the tip of the iceberg of the disaster that is going to happen in those states. And I didn't mean to make this podcast about that. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
But it blows my mind.
Yeah.
To remove any other opinions from anything is dumb. Like to live in an echo chamber of your own opinions and those, it's a dumb idea. It doesn't lead to anything good.
I don't like it at my store.
Right.
When we just talk one way.
Right.
You should always have, that's how new ideas come about. That's how problems get solved.
Right.
Civil discourse,
It's
man.
okay.
I like it when someone comes in and disagrees with us.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay.
And it might change your opinion at some point, and that's fine.
I am wrong every day about something.
Sure.
Yeah.
I promise you I'm wrong every day about something.
So-
and where we fail a lot, I think in society, is we have fewer and fewer and fewer people that admit that they are wrong about something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They put it out there in the ether, and as soon as they get some pushback and they maybe think that they're wrong or maybe that wasn't the right thing, they ball up and now they're fighting. They're fighting off their heels to defend this broken or bad ideology. And hey, it's okay to listen to the other side. You don't have to buy in. I get it. You don't have to buy in, but listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
What's I want to switch gears a little bit
Yeah.
since we have all these cool suppressors on the table. These are all unloaded and have been checked, so don't freak out.
Yep.
We are also 3 competent people at handling guns, so everything's safe here. What is up with the suppressor laws? Tax
Yes.
stamp?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So part of the BBB, the big, beautiful bill that President Trump got pushed through back in August, one of the provisions was taking the $200 tax stamp on NFA items. So suppressors, short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, machine guns, all that stuff. Or no, machine guns are still $200, but suppressors, short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns. Took that $200 tax stamp and basically zeroed it out. So it is still a tax stamp. We have gotten approved forms back. There is still a tax stamp on the forms.
It takes 6 months, though, right?
No.
Oh.
There is still a tax stamp on the forms. It now says $0. So you still need to register, right? You still got to do your fingerprints. You still got to take your picture. You still got to go jump through all the hoops. And that is one of the things that we had heard up to this run-up from about October forward was, I'm still going to wait just because I know it's going to take so long. There's going to be such a backlog, and it's going to take months and months and months and months and months. All right. So on December 26th, the NFA, the ATF, shut their office, closed it down. We're not taking any new submissions. Everybody freaked out. ATF shutting down. I had people calling me, and I'm sure every gun store around here, the few that sell suppressors, they heard the same thing. ATF shutting down. Oh my God, it's going to push everything back months and months and months. The reason they did that is they wanted to clear out all the backlog of all that stuff that had been sitting in there, right? They also brought some new servers online. They updated their computers. They updated the personnel, the people. They brought in more inspectors. They got them trained up. They got them online. So, personal experience. January 1st, I went to work at 5 o'clock in the morning, January 1st. System was down. It was crashed. I could not submit a silencer. I couldn't. I was frustrated. I had hundreds.
Because you had been...
I had been selling them, right?
Yeah.
I had been selling them for months and telling everybody the same thing. Like, hey, if you want to save this $200, like, go ahead and buy your can, do your layaway, do whatever it is. We'll do all your paperwork. We'll get everything dialed in. We'll get you set up, fingerprints, photographs, get all that stuff done. They're going to sit in the vault. And on January 1st, regardless of how hungover I am, I'm coming in and I'm getting your suppressor pushed to the ATF to get it in for approval. So 5 o'clock in the morning, I get there. I flip the lights on, and the system is just, it's down. So I think between 5 and 10 when we opened, I was able to push like 1 or 2 suppressors. And it was just like, oh, God, here we go. So we stay open for a couple hours. We weren't really going to be open on January 1st. We stay open for a couple hours. My brother, Ross, Uncle Ross, if you've never met Uncle Ross, you got to come in. Mm-hmm. He's excited. He just got his business cards.
Oh, yeah.
Say Uncle Ross. Literally, they say Uncle Ross on them. They
Perfect.
Business card just says, I'm just here for the beer and machine guns. That's it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right. Luke, my new guy who's awesome, he came in, and about 1 o'clock I said, hey guys, like, we've done a little bit of business, but you know what? Go home and enjoy the day. Right? Go home and enjoy the day. So we went home. I get home, I eat dinner. I'm chilling with the wife. About 7 o'clock, I get a text message from a buddy on the East Coast who says, hey, system seems to be working.
Oh boy. Game time.
So literally, I throw my shoes on, throw my hat on. I skibby to Post Falls. I log in at 7:30, and between 7:30 at night and 1:30 in the morning, I get all of the suppressors pushed.
Dude.
Nice.
All of them. I think there was like 3 or 4 where, the customers hadn't signed a form, or they hadn't signed their trust document, or there was 2 or 3 or 4 just goofy little weird ones that didn't get pushed. But for the most part, we got 99% of them pushed. January 1st, rolling into January 2nd. Luke, my new employee, I bought all the boys suppressors for Christmas. I got his in at 11:45 on the 1st. His approved on the 3rd.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
36-hour approval.
All right.
With
that's
the
awesome.
amount they had coming in.
Okay, and I'll tell you that here in a second. So, and I'm like, okay, he already owns suppressors. He's already in the system. Maybe this was a fluke. So 4 o'clock in the morning, his comes in, 7 o'clock East Coast time. By about 11 o'clock our time, I had like 30 approvals. And now customers are calling me, hey, I just got this thing that says approved. I'm like, get your ass in here. Let's go.
Wow.
And bring your wallet.
Yeah.
Well, why? Because you're going to want to buy another one.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to want to do it again, right? And they did. So now, fast forward to the 12th, I looked yesterday. I think out of the 150 some, I think, in fact, Tim's just approved this morning, I think we've got all but about 5 that have been approved.
Wow.
Wild.
From that initial J1 push.
Yeah, and that's when they got dumped on.
Right.
I
And
mean,
so
yeah,
now
that's impressive.
now we start hearing the numbers, right? So NFA starts putting out these numbers of like, hey, on average in 2025, we were processing, or we saw an upload of 2,500 suppressors, 2,500 NFA items a day. 2,500 a day. That puts, if you do the math, I think it's just under 1 million in a year. J1, 150,000 submissions. J2, 150,000 submissions. So we have already done more as an industry in the first 10 days of January than we did in 2025. And they're coming back faster.
Is the left freaking out because there's so many assassins out there with suppressors now?
No, I tell you who's freaking out, though, is all the guys that there was always an excuse why they couldn't buy.
Yeah.
right? And so as a guy who's, I brought a couple suppressors in here, and there's a couple old ones in here, that I've been a stamp collector now for about 17 years. Oh. My first suppressor that I bought, the first one, the one that's on my Mark 18 at the store, my Daniel Defense gun, that took 18 months to get.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, that is the thing, right? Is we've had guys that have this institutional memory of suppressors are expensive. Suppressors are $1,000 or more. There's a $200 fee, and it takes a year to get them. All right. I brought a bunch of suppressors today, and there's not a single one that costs more than $1,000 here. Oh. Right? I did that on purpose because I wanted to show that there's some cool stuff that you can get that's not very expensive. Mm-hmm. Now there's no $200 fee. Now we're seeing 1 week turnarounds, 10-day turnarounds. Like, there's always an excuse on why you can't buy.
Right.
I get that. There's no excuse anymore.
Yeah, it's fast, quick turnaround.
There's no excuse anymore, right? If you really want one, whether it's from me or it's from one of the other great NFA dealers here in North Idaho, go have the conversation and buy a suppressor. I promise you, it's the coolest thing you can do, especially for an old guy like me, 50 years old, who's been shooting for 30-some years. When I go out and shoot, it reinvigorates me wanting to shoot because it changes the dynamics of shooting 100%.
Oh, yeah.
So
you sold me on putting a can on my 4570 lever action. And
you're welcome.
It is the coolest freaking gun
Don't
ever.
sell me on that.
Yeah.
I immediately went and bought one.
Yeah.
The darked out 4570. He was laughing at me. He's like, "You're going to come back and buy a can." I know you are.
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got your
just bought
can.
it right
I think I still have your can sitting in the back shelf with your name on it.
Yeah,
So go-
I believe that.
Go bring the card, pick it up.
Gosh dang.
But it does because it's not. My wife, for example, she doesn't like the concussion,
Yeah.
the chest thumping of standing next to someone shooting. Like, that drives her away from shooting. That's no longer there when you put a can on it.
So
It's really diminished.
I always find it funny because we talk about, gun laws throughout the United States and around the world and, whatever, right? Some of this stuff, the European brain cannot comprehend.
Like that one right there.
Right? The European brain does not comprehend a full auto M4 variant.
Right.
Right? And they can't buy them. But they can buy suppressors.
That's
right?
interesting, right? They do them for hunting, right?
There's European countries where literally suppressors are sold at their local gun store over the counter. They're sold at the hardware store, and you are encouraged to shoot suppressed every time you go shoot because it is not an implement of war. It is not an overly tactical thing. It's a hearing protection device.
Right. And if you don't know, they're not super. I mean, you can make them super quiet.
Oh, yeah.
But in general, like my 4570 is still fairly loud.
Yeah.
It's still not super comfortable to shoot, but it's way more comfortable.
Yeah, when you shoot an AR-15, an AR-15 variant, and you're shooting 5.56, that bullet never goes subsonic. Mm-hmm. So you're shooting a 55 grain bullet or a 62 grain bullet. I don't care if you run a $500 can or a $1,500 can on there. That never goes subsonic. It always sounds like a gunshot.
Right.
But you can run it.
Yeah.
Right? You can run it with your foamies in, whatever your comfort level is, right? It makes the shooting experience that much more enjoyable. And what we talk about in the store is, especially for the first timers, and I think I said this to you, is A, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
And B, I apologize in advance. And everybody goes,
right.
Well, why? And I go, because you are now going to become a suppressor snob. Every gun that you have that you can put a suppressor on, you're going to want to put a suppressor on. And when you go shoot, you are going to be upset when you are shooting with people who are not shooting suppressed.
You're dead
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's at Fernan, whether it's at a couple of the indoor ranges, whether it's at Micah, whether it's at Hayden Creek, right? And you're out there shooting, and there's 10, 15 guys out there blasting away, and there's the one guy standing in the middle, unsuppressed, just concussing everybody, you'll notice that everybody just kind of parts the sea, right? And lets this joker just kind of shoot by himself.
It happened on our SWAT team. Everybody had suppressed, but there'd always be one or two that weren't suppressed. It was like, dude,
Come on.
So it'd be like, poof, 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 boom. You're like, really? Come on.
Yeah. So it's gotten a lot easier, a lot faster, right? So suppressors have never been more readily available. They've never been cheaper.
Do you think that will switch back ever?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we were talking earlier about, we have a very short window with President Trump, right? We've got 3 years. We have midterms coming up in a year, right? And if the midterms do not go the way that we need them to go, that is going to limit what Trump can do in the future. But the BBB, right, the big beautiful bill, put tax stamps to 0. If President Newsom creates the one big shitty bill,
You just give me an innie.
right?
It's inverted.
Right? If he creates the one big horrific bill, right, and he says we're going to line that 0 out and reverse it, that's tax policy. And that was one of the things we talked about in the shop when people were coming in and they're like, "Oh, Donald Trump, he signed this thing and it got rid of the NFA." Right? Suppressors, you can buy them over the counter now. And I'm like, "No, you can't." Right? And they go, "Well, yes, you can. He signed the thing." And I go, "You cannot change gun law via a tax package. It's a tax stamp. It's a federal tax. The feds can regulate the dollar amount, but they can't change the law unless it goes through Congress." Right? And a lot of people didn't understand that, right? Because there was all these, the Short Act and the blah, 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 the da-da-da, right? There was all these things going around, and none of them went through, right? We got the $200 taken off. It's a great start. I'll go into a little bit more here in a second, but it's a great start. But in 2028, right, if we get the opposite of Trump and they come in, let's say we get Hakeem Jeffries.
Oh, boy.
The left is now talking about, well, we need to adjust for inflation. Well, if we adjust for inflation on a tax stamp, you're upwards of $2,500 to $3,000 for a stamp. That will kill the suppressor business.
Yeah.
And they know that.
They know it.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
They know it. Because the only thing that they can do gun-wise, right, is make it physically and monetarily harder for consumers and businesses to conduct business. That is actual gun control. Right? That is actual gun control. And we can talk about Washington because that's Washington's whole play now, right? Is their form of gun control is regulating the commerce and making it so expensive that people just can't physically,
Right.
they can't enjoy they can't partake in the Second Amendment because they can't afford it.
Right.
Right? So now, one of the cool things that is getting ready to happen, you still have to do a registry, right? You got to do your fingerprints. You got to take your picture. You got to answer all the questions. Not that that's cool. But now that registry is now technically an illegal registry, right? The tax stamp has been written off to 0. That is technically an illegal registry. Now, there's still a registry on our side, right? The manufacturers have to register them and Form 3 them to the distributors and to the retailers. And then we still have to pay taxes on them, pay our SOT fees and all that. And then we still have to Form 4 them out. But for you, the end user, it's an illegal registry. So there are some lawsuits that are being pushed forward by companies like Silencer Shop and the NSSF and the Gun Owners of America and the NRA, all these different organizations that are going after the NFA throughout the United States through all these different district courts. There is a chance there that the NFA could get struck down. It would be great. It would be great for Idaho.
Right. How does this, with suppressors in Idaho, obviously, would it be any different in another state?
Yes.
How? So let's say, people are buying suppressors in Idaho, right? A lot of them through you. But if they were going to go buy a suppressor in Washington, what would that difference? What would that look like?
So remember the first time we talked, I think almost a couple, 2
Years,
years,
yeah.
a couple, 2.5, 3 years ago. Washington used to have a law in the books that said you could own a suppressor, you could own a short barrel rifle, but you couldn't use it. Okay, and so there was a group of us. It wasn't just me. There was a group of us, along with Senator Andy Hill, who was my neighbor, who's now passed away. Andy Hill's a great Washington State senator. We got that law changed, and Christine Gregoire, Governor Gregoire, signed that into law that said you can own a suppressor and you can use it. The unintended consequence of that is Washington State law says these are legal because there is a federal registry. So if there's lawsuits and the NFA gets kicked and there's no federal registry, suppressors are now illegal in Washington.
Oh, boy.
Gotcha.
I know my brother just got one last year for his hunting rifle.
Yeah. And so now here's the thing. Texas has the same verbiage. Montana, I believe, has the same verbiage, right? Now, I know that Texas is going to change this session here, January. They're going to change the verbiage of their laws. Montana, all these pro-gun states are going to change their verbiage of like, no, these are illegal, these are good. Washington doesn't have to do anything.
And it's not like they're going to actively seek to change the language.
No, because again, if we win a couple court cases and all of a sudden there is a nationwide injunction and the NFA is now rendered useless, and you guys can walk in and buy a suppressor over the counter like you can a handgun or a rifle and take it home same day with no fingerprints and no pictures and none of that bullshit, right? The state of Washington is just going, well, we didn't do anything. I mean, there's just existing law. Like we made these things legal for you guys to have 15 years ago.
Right.
And they could just throw their hands up and say, we didn't take anything away from you. The feds did. Mm-hmm. And so there is some things. So for like my Washington guys, because I get a lot of guys that come in that they want to buy suppressors from me. They're like, hey, we want to support the store. We want to support the cause. We know what you're doing. We know what you do, why you do, and how much you give back. We want to spend some money with you. And I'm like, hey, I can't. I mean, I could, right? I could sell a guy a suppressor and take his money and Form 3 it to a store in Washington and ship it and charge, there's $40-$50 there. And then the receiving store is going to charge a transfer fee and blah, 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 blah. And I look at those people and I go, man, I appreciate it, but you're going to spend $150 more than you need.
So you could legally do it. You're being a good human being and telling.
And I'm like, hey, where do you live at? Oh, I live in Spokane. I live in the Valley. Man, go see Jeremy at Sharps. Sharpshooting indoor range.
Yeah.
Shameless plug for those guys. Amazing store, right? Go see Jeremy at Sharps, get dialed in. I can't tell you how many people we sent over there. Oh, I live in Central Washington. Go see my business partner, Bryce. Rev Arms, Ellensburg. Go see Rev Arms, Covington, right? Like they'll get you dialed in. And the whole goal is if we can't provide the business, if we can't do the business in North Idaho and Post Falls, we push it back to where the business can be done. Yeah. And because we're actively trying to keep those gun stores in business.
Right.
Like I'm seeing so many of my friends and so many of my compadres that are going out of business just because they're being strangled, that like they're losing their livelihoods. And I don't even look at it as competition. Right? I don't even look at like the other 17 gun stores in North Idaho. Like they're my competition. I don't even look at them as competition, and that's not a negative thing. Right. I'm not saying that negatively, right? Like I do. I want every ounce of business I can get, but the reality is I can't do everything, and I can't be everything for everyone. So if I can't, I'm gonna send you to the right direction, right? And so we try to send people where things can happen.
And now am I correct in that you are one of the only 2 stores in North Idaho that has a kiosk for?
Yeah. So. There's
don't say the other one.
No. I mean,
I know, but
there's a couple stores that sell suppressors.
If you do.
You have to have an SOT, and so there's a couple stores that sell suppressors. The big boxes don't. So your Cabela's and as of right now, Black Sheep doesn't. I think maybe they're thinking about of getting into the game. But there's only a couple small stores that do suppressors, right? There's even fewer that actually have the silencer shop kiosks to do the electronic fingerprints, digital fingerprints, and all that stuff. And that is what is allowing us to move so lightning fast, is to just do everything digitally in DocuSign and just rock and roll.
Because the other way is you have to take actual
you got to
fingerprints.
do ink fingerprints, and you've got to mail in the fingerprint cards, and you've got to do passport photos, and all that stuff. And it, not that it takes a lot of time, but an extra week here, an extra week there. Like, hey, like guy figures out that he wants to spend $1,000 on something or $600 on something. It's hard enough to tell him he's going to have to wait a week.
Yeah, that wasn't a big a deal when it was 14 months.
No.
But now when you're looking at a 6-day turnaround,
and
it's a bigger deal.
Here's the crazy part is I'll have groups of guys come in, and we'll do like 4 dudes at one time, and they'll each buy a suppressor or 2 or 3. And then it's a fun game of like, hey, the last guy to get the approval's got to buy beer on poker night.
Right. Yeah.
That's the fun game when, the guy's like, shit,
That's not fair. I always get flagged for something. I always get flagged.
Well, have
for
you
something.
looked at yourself in the mirror?
Yeah, that's valid.
Face?
That's
With
because I had
that
to
face?
get my beard, dude.
Yeah,
I
like
look
we're giving
less-
Shrek suppressors.
Yeah, 100%. I can see that being valid. They love them back in the Shire, dude. I don't bother my neighbors.
So yeah, no, suppressors are good, right? Business is good. The gun business in the United States right now is, I track analytics all day long, right? The gun business in the United States right now is down about 20%.
Really?
Yeah, Trump slump 2.0.
Oh, just the same way when like Obama did something,
It spikes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So right now, Trump slump 2.0. This happened 2016 to about 2019 before COVID. There was no fear of loss. Pam Bondi and the DOJ is not doing anything to make it any better, but they're not taking anything away. Pam Bondi, you're not doing anything. So let's work on that. But we're in Trump slump 2.0. So the industry as a whole is down about 20%. And I think part of it is obviously who's in office. Mm-hmm. The other part of it is the economy. The economy really hasn't started to truly kick over hard yet. I think we're going to start seeing that in the next couple months. Really, the economy's starting to kick over hard and have some extra income floating around for some people. Right. And then number 3 is there is still this hangover from COVID. I don't care where you were in the United States, 2020, 2021, if you owned a gun store, you were selling a bunch of guns. Mm-hmm. And there really wasn't a lot of deals or discounting or anything like that. So you had a lot of guys going out, making arbitrary purchases, maybe making unnecessary purchases at full price, full retail, kind of burning through that budget. The average guy, maybe not North Idaho, but the average person, true gun collector, is maybe 2 or 3 new guns a year, along with ammo and supplies and all the accoutrements that go with those firearms. North Idaho, I think maybe guys buy a little bit more up here. But if that got hyper processed into a 2-year window where, instead of buying, 2 guns a year, 3 guns a year, you bought 7 or 8 or 9 guns a year, 10 guns a year, you spent a lot of money. And so now there's a little bit of a hangover right now. And so while the industry is down, we're up. Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that in Idaho.
It's a different business model, right? It's a completely different business model.
Yeah.
The way that we do business is it's less of that car dealership feel. When you walk into a local gun store and it's, hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
what's it going to take to get you into this new Glock? We don't do that.
It's relational, not transactional.
Yeah,
kind of like how we do our business.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Weird.
It's 100% relationships. I am proud of the fact that I've got some old timer customers, some guys that are in their 80s, in their 90s.
Yeah.
And they call me on my cell phone. Hey, can you give me a hand? Can you give me a hand with the front yard? Can you give me a hand with the snow? Mm-hmm. No problem.
That's cool.
No problem.
That's the way it should be.
I farm out my teenager for stuff.
Yeah, no problem,
Yeah,
right? Like,
100%.
no
But I'm
problem.
there in
Like,
proxy.
we'll help people, right? And not that I'm going to come over and do your yard care for you, or
Yeah.
but you know what? I know those people. I know the people that maybe own a lawn care business or maybe have teenagers that'll shovel some snow. And so when so-and-so that lives on the hill in Post Falls says, man, I got this, 200-foot long driveway that's got 8 inches of snow on it. I'm to the point where I just can't get out there and break my back for 4 hours. You know what? I know a couple kids from such and such
Yeah.
that'll come over and they'll do it. And hey, maybe buy them lunch or throw them a couple bucks and they get taken care of. Like, to me, that sense of community is worth more than, just selling a gun.
Right.
Well, I think it means more that you're getting people in their 80s and 90s because they tend to be very loyal, right? So they have a gun shop before, but if you've earned that business here, especially being from Washington, once they find that out, right? No, but once you earn that, that's impressive in and of itself.
Yeah.
Says that you're value added in the community.
We heard that, when I moved over, my family told me, hey, it's going to take you like 3 years before the local guys really even understand who you are and even where your store's at, right? And so now we're starting, we're year 2, getting into the end of year 2. And every day, hey, I didn't even know you were here, but I heard about you from so-and-so. I saw you on this, blah, 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 whatever. And cool, man. Well, I'm just here to check you out. No problem.
Yeah.
Yep, you've done it the right way. A lot
I'm
of the
just here to
services-
look. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, but you're linking up with some of the local agencies too. And those guys are at the range all the time. And then you get in and you say, that guy knows what he's talking about. Like, that's something that we can get, because they just want to make sure they're compliant, right? Like, that's their biggest thing. But they're cops in these positions. That's not their full-time job. So you get in and you provide value in that regard, and then all of a sudden there's trust built.
Yeah.
Right. And then that's where everybody goes after that. It's a growing area with a small town mentality.
Yeah. And like I said, my cell phone rings and I had one of the local PD guys call me and he goes, man, I got this Surefire light on my duty weapon and it broke. And it's a Surefire Vampire light, it's got IR on it and whatever. And he goes, man, it's broke and nobody's got one in stock and this and that and whatever. And I said, well, just get down here. And he walked in, and I handed him one. This is a $350 pistol light.
Yeah.
I handed him one, and he goes, well, how much is it? And I go, give me yours. And then I dealt with Surefire.
Oh, hell yeah.
I got one back. It took an extra week or two.
Yeah.
But that
He wasn't down one.
he went on patrol that night
Yeah.
With a functioning light.
with a functioning light on his pistol, right? And to me, that's important because I live here.
Yeah.
I live here. I want my police officers, whether it's Kootenai, Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls, ISP, Rathdrum, Border Patrol, Fish and Game. I love the elk cops.
Yeah.
Right? If I want those guys to have the best tools they can because there is a criminal element in and around North Idaho, and maybe it's from North Idaho and maybe it's from Eastern Washington. I don't care where it's from. I don't want it here.
Yeah.
And I want my guys and my gals, my team, my law enforcement team, I want them to have every single option that they need. And if that means that it delays some of my gratification monetarily, okay.
Yeah.
I can't finance every department's dreams, but I can definitely help.
Right.
So
I feel like we need to share an office because it seems like when people come here to see us, they always stop in to see
That's
you, which
accurate,
I appreciate.
yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, we already saw BZ. I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm waiting for my commission check.
That's a big deal. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it is cool though. But that speaks to the way the community works here. Again, we talk about it being a throwback, right? It's very much a network. When people trust you, then they're going to trust us. When people trust us, they're going to trust you. Say, look, this is who I go to. I send family there too, right?
Oh, yeah. I do all my stuff there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's cool. It's cool. Like, I know you guys are talking about the Canadians and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And, I've had an opportunity in the last couple months to meet some people from Canada,
Yeah.
right? From the what are they, the hosers?
Yeah.
A bunch of hosers. And I've met some super, super cool people that, we think that maybe the states that we came from were oppressive or tyrannical. Oh, yeah. Holy shnikes.
Oh, yeah.
Canada's crazy.
On that note, because we get asked a lot, is there a way for Canadians that are moving here to bring their guns or ship them here?
Yeah,
Have you dealt with that?
so have them reach out to me, and so we need to make sure that we are not violating any Canadian export laws. We're not violating any United States import laws. Pretty much any gun that they have there, they're going to be able to move. Okay. They should be able to move here into North Idaho, but we want to make sure that we do it the right way. And then there is going to be, let's just say hypothetically that Joe Hoser wants to move from BC and he's got a couple hunting guns and he gets them shipped into my store and I put them in the vault and I lock them up, book them in, they're in his name, they're his guns. That doesn't mean he can come in on day 3 of him living in North Idaho and pick his guns up. Right. And so, there's some things that we have to do, and there's background checks now to get those guns back out and to do all those things. And we'll guide you through that, right, and get you taken care of. On the flip side, we get a lot of people that in the summertime are traveling in the United States, and they're going into Canada for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks to go on vacation. And I get these frantic phone calls, and they're like 200 miles away. And they're like, oh, I just realized that I have my Glock in my lockbox in my truck. And I'm, 200 miles from you and I'm 270 miles from the border. What the hell do I do? And I'm like, I got a service for that. Come see me. Mm-hmm. Come see me. We'll take care of it. We'll make you legal. We'll get you dialed in, and we'll see you on the backside. That's awesome. Right? Cool. And so it's just, it's just providing services. Providing services, right? Yeah. Taking care of people. We say everything we do is for the people.
Yeah.
And we believe that, right? We honestly believe that. Every person who is involved in my store has the same mindset and the same mission that we are doing this not for us, but we're doing this for the people.
Yeah.
And it sounds hokey. Yeah. Right, it does, because I'm in business. I'm here to make money, and I am here to make money. But if I take care of the people will take care of me.
Yeah, it's the same way. It's
take care of the people will take care of you.
Yeah. We operate the same way. I mean, money's a thing, but it's not the thing. If you're taking care of the other parts of your business and you're operating it the right way, it'll be a byproduct.
And
exactly.
Kind of to come full circle to what we started about. That's why so many people are moving here.
Yeah.
Money is a thing. Money's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Money's not the only thing.
No.
There's a lot of people that have made a lot of money in their lives, and now they've realized that as they're adults, their freedoms, their the way the state treats them, the way the state interacts with them, the way the state hates them is not okay. And you have people that are giving up thousands, hundreds of thousands, dare I say millions of dollars to move to a place to just have a little bit more freedom. That's a pretty powerful thing.
Well, and I notice
that
when people move here, I don't even think they realize the way they felt in their previous state, where you're constantly watching your property taxes go up, and and if they involve state income tax or gas prices, but then you see it somewhere else. How much easier is it to wake up and look out on the property that you own when you actually feel like you have some ownership stock in it, and you're not just a resource to be exploited?
Yeah. Our mutual friend Mike,
yeah,
from the West Side, is going to think that we're talking to him right now with this little.
What's his name?
That's true.
Mike.
I won't say the last name on here.
Hey,
you've seen him.
Oh, he's already been in there.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
They're not talking about you.
Yeah,
I am.
Mike's.
I'm talking about you.
You
Mike.
two already know each other. You've already been in there. No, but it's just it's there's something very freeing about that when you actually believe in the product of the community that you live in to own a piece of dirt there.
Yeah.
Because you're contributing directly to it. And I feel for the folks, because there's some really good people that still live west of us, and it's really frustrating to see it. And with the good ones leaving and awful ones getting imported, I don't know how that changes.
Yeah. How do people find you?
Through you guys.
Yeah. He's always in the store.
Yeah.
Where's the store? You're on. I know you're on the gram.
Yeah.
I will link that. I will
Yeah.
link you. You have a website?
I have a website. It looked
link
the website looks like it was built by a 4-year-old because it was built by me using GoDaddy or whatever. So Luke is working on that. We're going to have an updated website, a little bit of a refresh.
Cool.
You can find us on Facebook, North Idaho Arms, North Idaho Arms 2.0. That's our backup account. Instagram, North Idaho Arms. Brian Zielinski, you can link everything. NorthIdahoArms.com is the website. We're at the Riverbend, the old outlet malls. So 4013 West Riverbend. Phone number is 208-457-3031. And just reach out, man. If you have a question, just reach out, right? If you need help with something, just reach out.
You're always good about that.
Yeah.
It's exit 2 going east, coming in from Washington. It's right there. You can't miss the big white outlet malls on the south side.
If you're
Literally
coming,
the first exit.
Make that
if
a
you're-
part of your trip.
Exit 2. So if you're coming from Washington, exit 2, get off the freeway, take a right at the light, take a left in the parking lot. You'll see North Idaho Arms.
It's a minute and a half off the interstate, and it's worth the trip, especially if you want to go in there and chat Washington gun laws, because he's a wealth of information given his history, running one of the biggest gun shops in Western Washington. So if you're curious about the transition from Washington gun laws to Idaho gun laws, he's always up for a conversation.
Yeah.
We should plug Bill Kirk here from Washington Gun Law, the YouTube channel. Bill's in there a lot. We've had him on here several times. He's a wealth of gun knowledge.
He's got a small podcast studio at our facility.
Cool.
And so we will be getting him back in the store. This is a busy time of the year with SHOT Show and everything. So, I'm flying around, he's flying around, but he'll be in the store more this year. If you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, we always put out when he's coming in, and he always does meet and greets, and he will sit and stand and shake hands and kiss babies. Every single person that comes in gets FaceTime with Bill Kirk, and he is awesome. He is one of my best friends. He is one of the reasons why my store is what it is because of his just relentless support of me and my relentless support of him.
Yep.
And so, do we have just a couple minutes?
Yeah, you got some Washington Gun Law.
So one of the things that I get a lot, right, and I get a lot from people is, why do you talk so much about Washington gun laws?
Good question.
In Idaho? You live in Idaho, forget where you came from. Why do you talk so much about Washington gun laws in Idaho? And the answer is really, really simple. I'm going to read off my notes, but less than 15 years ago in Washington, Washington State had some of the best gun laws in the nation. Less than 15 years ago. I'm 50 years old. Less than 15 years ago. Number one, face-to-face transfers in Washington. So you local guys that are buying guns on Idaho Gun Trader and meeting up at the Walmart parking lot and exercising your right as Idaho citizens, that's 100% legal in Idaho. That used to be legal in Washington. In Washington, if you had a concealed weapons permit, you could walk into your local gun store, you could buy a firearm and take it home same day because you had a concealed weapons permit. You can't do that any longer. There was no magazine ban in Washington. You could have a 15-round mag. You could have a 20-round, 30-round. There was no assault weapons ban in Washington. Like I said, back 15 years ago, we got suppressors legalized to own. We got short barrel rifles legal to own. You could open carry. And Washington is still an open carry state, but I would strongly suggest that you probably don't open carry in Washington, right? You become a target at that point. And then the big thing is, even without a CPL, certain firearms, rifles, shotguns, lower receivers, was still a same-day purchase. You could take it home same day. You pass your NICS instant background check, right? Take it home same day. There was no background check fees. There was no pay-to-play in Washington. So all of those things were in place in Washington 15 years ago. What happened?
Elections.
Jungle primaries, mail-in votings. So this is why I talk about this so much in Idaho, because what are they trying to do in Idaho right now? Jungle primaries, mail-in voting.
Right.
You want to protect Idaho, and not let Idaho become Washington, there's two things that you have to do. Don't worry about the Californian that's moving in. Don't worry about the Oregonian. Don't worry about the Washingtonian, right? Don't let Boise give us jungle primaries, and don't let Boise give us mail-in voting. The fraud and the election theft that happens when those two pieces of the puzzle fall into place, that's how you lose a state.
Right.
That's how Washington lost its state. Okay? So that's the big thing, right? Why do I talk about Washington gun law so much in Idaho? Is because I can see the handwriting on the wall, because Idaho is the next target. The Bloomberg group, the Giffords group, Idaho is the next target. Idaho is the Alamo. And that's why we're all moving here.
Well, I always say
Idaho's the Alamo.
I'm not going to say Idaho's not going to fall. It's just going to be the last one.
Yeah.
That's a really good T-shirt idea, just for the record.
So couple things. Legislative session in Washington starts today, Monday, January 12th. There's a couple carryover bills, and I'm just going to kind of burn through these. William Kirk covered these last night on a video that he did, so you can always redirect back to Washington Gun Law, the YouTube page, and he goes a little bit more into depth. But these are a couple of the real egregious ones. House Bill 1386. This is a carryover bill from last year. Washington does everything in a biennium, so they can bring these bills back that didn't pass last year, and they can run them this year. This is the 11% sales tax on anything firearm related.
Wow.
So think about where I came from, Bellevue, Washington, that has a 10.2 sales tax. So you go into Wade's Eastside Guns, my boys at Wade's, and you want to buy anything. $1,000, whatever, $1,000, whatever, 10.2% sales tax. So you're already another 100 and some odd bucks. Now it's and it's going to be an additional 11% above and beyond. In Bellevue, Washington, that's probably not that big of a deal. In Pasco, Washington, that is a big deal, right? And so this is what we were talking about of how they actually put gun control in place. And they do it financially, is if they make your purchase so expensive that you just say, you know what, I'd rather go bass fishing, I'd rather go bowling,
Right.
or I just need to simply put gas in my truck. That's how they do it, right? So House Bill 1386, an additional 11% tax above and beyond the normal sales tax, anything firearm related, including cleaning supplies.
Wow.
Right? House Bill 1152, new safe storage law. This would require that you keep your guns completely locked up and unloaded while they are in your home. So if there's one place that you want to have access to your guns at your discretion, is 2:30 in the morning, living in Federal Way, Washington, living in Kent, Auburn, Tacoma, Washington. You want to be able to get to your firearm when you hear the bang, when you hear the knock on the door, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Right. When you hear the bump in the night. This basically says if you are physically not carrying it, it has to be locked up, completely locked up, unloaded, right? Wow. In your house that you pay for, right? House Bill 1132, this is as a quota on your Second Amendment rights. This is the 1 gun a month law. 1 gun every 30 days. Washington is going to try for this again. California just had this struck down. California had the 1 in 30. California, I've now heard, is rewriting this to 3 in 30. So we don't know if Washington's going to run 1 in 30 or if they're going to follow California and go 3 in 30. But that is a quota on your Second Amendment rights.
Of course.
That's just like turning the heat up 10 degrees on the old frog in the
Boiling
pot, right?
frog, dude.
Senate Bill 5098 is new gun-free zones. This would make all city, town, and municipal buildings gun-free zones, all state buildings gun-free zones, all county fairs gun-free zones, parks and other places where kids are present. So if there is one place when you are out and about as a father and you're watching your beautiful children swinging on the swing sets at a public playground, There is one place that every red-blooded American male wants to be carrying a gun.
Yep.
And that's when you're watching your children. Because when bad shit happens, it happens fast.
Yeah.
And so they want to make playgrounds, sports fields, recreational facilities, all of those gun-free zones.
Especially parks in Seattle where there's pervasive open-air drug use
that's
and
okay.
tweakers everywhere.
So now, yeah, absolutely. They want to ban the carrying of firearms in those parks, but allow the open-air drug use
that
in
makes
those
sense.
parks.
Makes a lot of
That
sense.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
It's smart, right?
Makes sense if you don't.
Senate Bill 5099, new FFL regulations. It's more training and licensing for our local FFLs in Washington. All it is it's additional cost to those FFLs. Last year, my business partner, Bryce, Rev Arms, Covington, and Ellensburg, they had to do some security remodels and get the stores up to snuff with the audio and video recording. It wasn't a ton of money for them. I want to say it was $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 per location. I know that if you go see Jeremy at Sharpshooters in Spokane, I think he did, and Jeremy, I apologize, I think he did well over a six-figure remodel of his store to make his store compliant. And he's got a great store, right? It's a beautiful store. He updated it, he refreshed it. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful store. But they now audio record you when you're at the registers. So when you're standing at the registers in Washington and you're bitching about Bob Ferguson, it is being audio recorded, and Washington State Patrol has access to that.
Oh boy.
So they just want to make this even more egregious, just more money, more
Death
money.
of 1,000 cuts.
Well, and it puts the FFLs out of business, right? I
Right.
think right now we're at like the 35% loss of FFLs in Washington, where FFLs are just going out of business. That is actual gun control.
Yeah,
That is 100% gun control.
If you can't change it in the Constitution, they go at it with taxation and removing businesses.
Yeah. Last one on the carryover is, and this one is probably like a fart in church, probably not going to happen. House Bill 1504. This is the insurance requirement, $25,000 insurance requirement. This one basically says you have to get an insurance policy for every firearm that you own. If you cannot get an insurance policy, you need to get a bond with the state of $25,000 per firearm. The insurance companies are actually against this, which is weird.
Because they don't have a policy.
Because there's no policies for
Yeah.
it, right? And so this one I don't think is going to go anywhere, but this just shows you the level of disdain that they have for you,
Right.
And then the last two, House Bill 2320, if you were into 3D printing anything, anything firearm related, you do not want this to pass because it will ban everything.
Oh boy.
Everything. So 3D printing of suppressors, 3D printing of parts, pieces, accessories, whatever, it bans it all, right? The last one, okay, and we talk about this every single day in my store. People come in and they go, why should I buy that shotgun on the wall for $1,000 when I can buy it at home for $1,000? And I go, okay, A, you should buy it at home. You should support your local FFL, but you're here. So here's why you should buy it from me. Idaho sales tax is 6%. Your local sales tax is 9, 10, whatever percent. It might be 11% higher here pretty soon. Who knows? Okay. You have an $18 background check fee in Washington. You have a 10 business day wait in Washington. In Idaho, you don't. There's no background check fee. There's no 10-day wait. If the gun is legal and you pass your background check, you take it home same day. Senate Bill 6055 removes the cap on the $18 background check fee and lets the agencies providing that background check fee reprice that background check fee to what they seem fair. There's one agency in Washington that does those background checks, and that is the Washington State Patrol. The Washington State Patrol is running at a huge deficit right now.
So let's bump it to 50.
Do you think it's going to stay at $18?
No.
No. They're going to bump it to $50, $60, $100. So now you go in to buy your $1,000 shotgun. You pay your 10% local Bellevue tax. You pay your additional 11% bullshit state of Washington, we hate gun owners tax. So now your $1,000 gun just cost you $1,211. Now your background check fee goes from 18 to let's just say 50.
Yeah. 1261.
So $1,261 with a 10-day wait.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's not about banning guns. It's about changing the mindset of the gun buyer.
Right.
We are old. We are dying. We are aging out. We are dinosaurs. We are going away. There is an entire generation that turned 21 and became legal gun owners, legal eligible gun owners after COVID. And those poor young Americans will never be able to buy guns in Washington correctly. Never. They're taking that right away. We will be dead within a generation or two. And I'm talking to all the 50, 60, 70-year-olds in Washington right now. I hope you're healthy. Go to your doctor, get your heart checked, do all that, right? But we will be gone soon. And the state knows that. They are trying to take the guns from your children and your grandchildren because they know if they make it so hard, they will simply do something else.
Cost prohibitive and then drive businesses out.
And the gun stores go out of business, and my friends and my family and my buddies, the people that I care for and love in Washington that own businesses, that support the Second Amendment, that are unapologetically pro-2A, they will be out of business. They will be bankrupt. They will have no livelihoods. And there's no place to buy guns. And that, boys, is what the left wants in Washington. And again, so my plea to North Idaho, why do we talk about this so much? Why do we talk about Washington gun law in Post Falls, Idaho? We are one generation away.
Right. Got to be preventative, man.
We are one generation away. We are 15 years away. We lost it all in Washington in 15 years, and we're going to lose it all again in Idaho, right? Jungle primaries, mail-in voting. If we can stop those two things, we can slow it down, and maybe we'll get 2 generations out of it, right? And then we start working on the national things. We start working on the Supreme Court, and we start working on the big picture, the big ticket items. We have enough gun stores in North Idaho. We have enough business in North Idaho. We should all play well together. We should all do well together. We should all be successful. But at the end of the day, the message needs to be, it's not just about North Idaho Arms in beautiful Post Falls, Idaho. It needs to be about being unapologetically pro-2A in every instance. Not just hunting rifles, not just shotguns, not just AR-15s, not just suppressors, not just the scary black guns that maybe you don't see a need for. You have to be unapologetically pro-2A on every single thing when it comes to the Second Amendment. That's it.
Get no arguments here.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
I was going to run for mayor of Post Falls, but we got a good one now. So.
Yeah.
So-
Solid.
So he's a good dude. So
Well, we appreciate what you're doing, man. Thank you for joining us again.
absolutely,
Yeah.
man.
Always,
Absolutely.
always good to get info right from you. And if you guys are coming to town, go see BZ. Even if you don't want to buy anything, go chat him
Yeah,
up. He
come
does it.
see me.
And
Come see me. We got, the catchphrase is mags are on the wall, beers are in the fridge.
I love it.
Yeah.
Winter hours, we rolled the clocks back. So winter hours are 10 to 5. We'll go back to 10 to 6 in the springtime. So 10 to 5, we usually crack a beer about 5:01 second.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to have a beer with North Idaho Arms, swing by and we'll have a beer or just talk shop or just whatever, right? And the commitment is that if you come to us with a problem, a want, or a desire, like that's my job, is to figure out what the problem is, fix the problem, figure out what the want is, figure out what the desire is.
Problem solve. Yeah.
And guess what, man? Sometimes, a lot of the times, I can't solve it, but I have a pretty damn strong network of dudes, of people in this community where if you need help with something, we're going to point you in the right direction. I'm going to send you to a competitor store
Right.
and tell you, hey, go in and see the guys at Black Sheep and tell them BZ from North Idaho Arms sent you in because he knows that you have the solution for my problem. And right, get that customer taken care of. And hey, we're taking that, we're putting our toe in the water, and we want to maybe think about moving to North Idaho. I got guys. I got a team of guys.
Yep.
Right. And there's no pressure. There's no sales pitch. It's just let's have a cup of coffee and figure it out.
Yep. Sounds familiar.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And thank you for donating all these guns to the team.
Absolutely.
Once they hit the
absolutely.
table. I mean, that's very generous of you. All right, to those out there, I apologize for my face. I'm actively working on covering up more of it. I'm working on it.
Thank you, brother. We'll catch you next time.
Cheers, buddy.
Are we going to put him in a burqa now?
Yeah. God, it's so bad, dude. I hate it. My own wife.
God bless you guys. Have a great week. Unapologetically pro 2A. Keep up the fight. Rock and roll.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Later.